Hello once again. This is another video on study and exam strategies. Hope you are well and keeping safe. Let's go ahead. Remember the three outcomes of our study method is CARA, knowledge acquiring, R, remembering everything that we've studied, and A, being able to apply. Hope you are going to be using these tools to better your study strategies. Right, part D of the study strategies, we're going to go into simple 5 steps that you need to apply these study strategies or techniques. Only 5 of them, as I've said, that you will need. Step 1, timetable. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. It's important that you have a proper timetable, that it's a plan for you to be able to gather all the information that you need and collect the data that you need. What do you need? So when you set up a timetable, you need to set it up so that it can ensure that you progress in your studies, and don't forget to reward yourself within the study timetable that you have. Your study timetable should be clear and indicating the following things. What am I going to do? You must be clear exactly which subject you're going to be dealing with or module and what topic you're going to be zooming into. After studying, you need to assess, have you achieved what you wanted to do for the study period? Now, the following slides, I'm going to show you 2 different timetable examples, the one that is good, the one that is not. We're going to start the one that desires more improvement. This mostly is a timetable that I used to have when I was going to school. I'll write Monday, days of the week, I'll write the times when I'll be studying, and I'll just write the subject. It's a good step to have a timetable, but the only challenge with this timetable that it is not specific, and it could derail you and you could lose time, because when you sit down and do that specific subject, you will tend to do the things that you enjoy about it and not the difficult things. The timetable example is more specific. It's more direct. You are more indicating on the subjects that you want to tackle for the week, the times, and exactly what you want to achieve at the end of that session. Be bold to write those difficult questions that you want to tackle so that you are able to address the things that you do not understand, and that you can go back the next day or set up an appointment with your teacher or lecturer to clear the things that are not understood by you or are called gray areas. As you can see, I'm a diligent student in this example. I give myself a reward by resting on Sundays. 2, you need to have time to review and reflect. After each day that you have followed your timetable, you need to reflect. What's also important is you need to review each day after you've attended class or consulted with your tutor or lecturer, or if you're a full-time student and you're studying by yourself, you need to have time to review what you have studied. For each subject, attempt to review it again within 24 hours so that you can pin down all the principles that you've understood. If you take more than 24 hours, this reduces your ability to remember items that you have learned, and you find yourself going back again just before you go right. You need to go back again and restudy again. So you need to understand the window period that you need to gather the information and understand the principles. It's important to build small blocks in order to allow your brain to build capacity. Keep moving. Step number 3, when you're collecting data, these are the following things that you need to do as you are studying. Remember, you need to take into consideration your learning styles. These are suggestions. So based on your learning styles, you will need to keep your proper framework. So a proper framework could either be in words, or you can put pictures and write mind maps around it. It should be clear and precise. Don't write long sentences and paragraphs. Remember, you want to pin down on the key principles, why the topic is there, what is important about it, which I'll show you in the next slide. So state the following things in your mind maps: the principle of the topic, the calculation formulas or ratios if it's necessary, and a brief structure how it should be presented when you are asked in an assessment or test. This is an example of how you could have a mind map where you write down and answer all your W's. What is the topic about? Why is it there? Where does it originate? If you like to know history about it. And if this topic is not there, what would go wrong? The next question that you could ask yourself is, how does it apply? What do I need to be able to use this topic? For example, if we look at accounting, you could be looking at an asset and say, why is the asset there? You know that businesses need to disclose assets in their financial statements. That's the reason why. And it's important to understand if the description and the allocation of the assets are properly done in the financials. And if it's not there, that means the company is understating their books. They're not reflecting exactly what their books supposed to be. What is the formula of calculating an asset? Obviously, it will depend on the type of asset that is governed by different accounting standards. The next thing that you would ask yourself in the framework is, how is it tested? Have a view of past question papers. You might not know how it would look, but you can always ask your teacher to say, can you give me an old exam paper or a test that requires me to see how this topic has been tested before? Don't study topics in isolation. Always try to find a link. Where does this link to? Does it link in life? Does it link in other subjects? If you are not sure, it's a good question to ask the teacher or the lecturer when you are attending the class. Step number 4, knowledge collector. Now, this is going to be very detailed and I need you to really pay attention. At this point in time, you are more than welcome to pause the video, listen to a certain point again until you understand and are comfortable. Step number 4 is knowledge collector. You need. In order for you to test your knowledge, in your timetable, remember to incorporate hours where you will test what you have learned. Why do you do this? This helps you to build your confidence. This helps you to be calmer when you are writing important exams that are important for you to move to the next level or the next grade. You must write down the question under hours as per the question paper that you have. You need to treat it like a proper exam. No books allowed, and see how much do you remember. Do all past questions and highlight key principles that you have studied from those questions. Keep track of the questions that related to your understanding and come up with your one as well if you want to. Continue to test your knowledge. After you've written down the question or the test that you have testing your knowledge, mark yourself and see how much did you get. The following questions you need to ask yourself if you didn't get any of the answers right. I did not get it right because either of the following things. I did not understand the topic clearly, so I need to go back to my class or lecture notes or my own notes. I misread the question, therefore I need a better reading technique. You need to ensure you practice to read at least 3 times before you start answering the question. We will do this later in the exam technique session. I just don't get it. They ask you a question and you realize, I really did not get it. You need to take a step back, avoid having a negative attitude towards the topic or causing a mental block, but ask yourself the following questions or to be able to understand better. Why is it there? Why is it important to know this topic? And make time to visit your teacher or lecturer. Moving on to the last step, which is step 5, summaries. You have set a timetable, you've been studying, you've been gathering the knowledge. Now you should be in the state, you have tested yourself by applying all questions after you've studied that topic. Now you should be in a place where you are able to summarize what you have studied so far. Remember, you need to review your studies on a weekly basis. You need to check that you are still on track according to your timetable. You can always redo your timetable and readjust it according to what would work for you. Make sure that you attend to all the objectives that you've set. If yes, you can explain to anyone what you have studied in simple form, like explaining to your gogo or to a brother or a friend. If no, you need to revisit your understanding of the concepts or the principles that you have studied. If not, then you can contact your tutor or your lecturer. For each topic, be able to summarize it within 30 seconds. If you can explain a principle within a short space of time exactly what it means, then you know what you're talking about. This 30 seconds rule helps you in an exam under pressure to be able to identify exactly the topic that has been tested within 30 seconds. This will allow you not to lose time at the critical point in answering your assessment or exam. Join me in the next video, part E. Ciao, ciao. Bye.